Why did you FS30 him?
Because I want people to be salty when I do it. I don't care. I spit on him. I spit on him 100% of the way.
I respect it. I respect it.
But okay, so for me, that I do have both of them, and I do know how to use both of them. For example, like my Path of Fire, I just did like 10 billion damage with Dawson. Mummy Dawson, no matter what, he will never remotely come close to 10 billion damage.
Never. But the thing is that I understand Mummy Dawson is a secondary option. So the way I think about it is, and I look at this at every unit. My criteria for a unit is when they come out, how do you work with Dawson? If you don't, all right, cool. Now you're just whatever. So for me, I'm using Fashion Blanca as my secondary to Dawson. So I'm constantly looking for something that can be better. I was thinking Vega was it because I'm the type, I like dots, I like the slow burn, I want people to suffer, so on and so forth. Like I don't care about interrupts, all that jazz. I just want to enjoy the game the way I play. So when I look at Mummy Sim's kit, I'm like, okay, am I willing to do Super, Elena, Mummy, and then Dawson? And see what happens? Sure, I'm down for it. That's why I'm building them. I want to see how it works because I think it could pair well. Mine, one thing that I'm noticing that I do in Shadowloo when I tried it in Shadowloo, Honda fucks me up with that specific combo. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense because he has a dumbass fucking heal that I just despise. So if I face a team with Elena with both Sims, I'm probably screwed. So that's something that but I like that. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that one matchup, fine, I gotta change up. But then what about the rest? Do I laugh at them? What about Bison? Do I shit on them? Because just Dawson alone, I laugh at Bison. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, they having a problem. And I'm like, day one, Bison's never been an issue. When everyone's building Zangiefs, everyone's doing Evil Ryu, I'm like, okay, Dawson, he cannot survive because his team dies in a C3. And I'm just like, all right, now what you gonna do? Like, so that's just my outlook of the game.
So the thing about Mummy Dawson, like in my opinion, he would be better if he was like a tank. Because his kit is around him getting hit too. And he is very, very, very squishy. Like, you do not want him getting hit. It's not like because his kit doesn't give him like armor or HP or anything else, but his kit also requires for the maximum, the max damage from him is getting hit just so you could try proccing poison on them.
I do see that part, but I'm looking more of like the active use of it instead of like, oh, he needs to get hit. I just see that as a side point. I look at like, okay, I need to C1 so his thing of Infernos can trigger his fighting spirit, and then now his C2 is where I'm looking at. That's how my outlook is. It's like I'm fine with using an activation to continue to something else.
Yeah. So my thing that I talked to Payne about this, it was that Mummy Dawson, that's why I'm not saying he's horrible. I'm not saying that. I just think that the state of the game right now, he's not good enough, in my opinion, until there's more poison dealing characters. Yeah. Because then the more, so just like Vega with the whole bleed, like his thing, like there are some bleed characters, but it's not.
They don't connect. I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
So maybe in like 6 months from now, if they keep bringing out some more poison and like characters, sure, Mummy Dawson might be really good because he'll stack up really quick. Because getting 10 stacks is actually not the easiest unless you're getting like hit multiple times.
Yeah, I definitely 100% agree. One thing that Booker mentioned to me before was that he would have worked with poison. They changed to him a little bit. That he doesn't work as well now. So
with poison?
Yeah. with OG Poison.
Oh, I mean, how I see Mummy Dulcim is that like most C2s is either a damaging move, like somewhat of a damaging move, or a damaging booster, right? Like
Yep.
Bizangief's C2 with the cars, it boosts damage. Like Guy as well, it provides a little bit of damage, but also boosts
A little
damage.
bit. How dare you?
No, I mean he doesn't do crazy amount of damage when he does it, but the ones next to it.
No, but then it's a boost though. It basically gives your
20%.
it gives your C3 basically a lot more damage and that character 20% of his attack.
Yeah. So it's basically like so C1 is strictly for like mostly for support, mostly. And then C2 is like somewhat of a flex option. And then C3 is usually a damaging move. And C3 is the damaging move because every time you go in the combo chain, like the additional bonus damage that is we're really accustomed to, it's like 15% more in C1 and then 25 or whatever, I forgot. And then you reach like 40 or 35% on C3. That's why C3 does a lot of damage, right?
So
it's because
I want to add on to your damage, like the whole rotate. Like for me, I have a team out on that. It helped me be B Zangief double Dhalsim stage 34, 32 or 31. I merked the Vega, so my team was Bison, Vega, S Yang, Dhalsim, and Dhalsim was my tag because I wanted to try what you said, Tix. So the combo was Vega, Yang, Vega, Dhalsim, and it nuked the whole team.
Yeah, I mean,
what was the power level difference? Was this before the nerf or?
I'm 9 million to their 17 million.
Oh, then that's not okay. That's not that big then. Like right now, like I'm like 200 mil.
Yeah, no, I'm
like
not.
under.
I'm not at that crack level where everyone is, who uses B Zangief. Like I'm using like I'm fighting double my power most of the time.
Yeah.
No, I mean I should have recorded this, but then on my 3 teams that I just beat, the first one was the E Honda Cheese interrupt. Second one is the B Zangief towards his Bison, but then the third one has no interrupt, and it's just Dhalsim. No, it's not even Dhalsim anymore. But Dhalsim over there would have been super cracked. But then it was a Viper, Flanka, Bison, and Street Poison on my third team.
Yeah.
And that alone, like Bison's Shadow Attack, I'm pretty sure it ignores defense because the damage is crazy, right?
You just said my main team.
Yeah. So then going to higher stages, you start to feel like the shadow attacks doing stuff. You start to feel the burns doing stuff. You start to feel the armor breaks, breaking their armor. And at that stage, when you pair Flanka or Dhalsim is way better with Bison.
Both.
But then I split them because then I won't have a good third option for damage. But if you do so much ticks, damage ticks with Flanka Super and then Flanka C2 and then Viper is just a support at that point with her armor energy and C3. You basically proc the shadow attack a lot, and if you have Dhalsim and Bison in the same stage, then you're gonna trigger so much ignore or straight to HP damage.
So I'll add on to that. My team: Bison, Flanka, Dhalsim, Elena, and then you have multiple combos. You could do Blanca, Elena, Blanca, Dhalsim. You could do Dhalsim, Blanca, Elena, Dhalsim. You could do Dhalsim, Bison, Blanca, Dhalsim. Like there's a whole bunch of variations in this, and everything besides Elena is triggering Bison's shadow, and multiple times. The Dhalsim Super hits minimum of like 3 to 4 times. Blanca's Super, same thing. Blanca's C2 hits 3 to 4 times if I'm not mistaken, and Dhalsim always hits 6 times. So you're triggering it at least minimum 10 times. Minimum. And that's every combo. And then you're not taking into account if you with that specific team, Dawson's Fighting Spirit 30, every burn has a chance to add another stack of burn, which even if the measly Blanca burns can add up, where one Blanca burn now becomes 3, now becomes 4, and so on and so forth. And then Blanca's Wildfire adds on to Dawson. And then if you're using Dawson right, there's 2 ways to play him. I'm an auto player. Yes, I'm a dirty auto gang. I that's just how I play. If you do it in an auto, Dawson Super allows you to get his yoga stacks on its own without you having to manually control it. Or you could be the super mega tryhard, the king of all, and do like what probably Ticks do to get like 50 million damage, and just make sure you're always towering with Dawson in your rotation at least twice or 3 times to get its maximum potential, and then you finally hit a F3 on him, and then you just see their bar go from red to white to gone.
Yeah, I mean, slow play is also what you mentioned, right? Slow play. So playing whatchamacallit? Dawson.
It absolutely matters, yes.
But like okay, wait. I forgot what I was about to say for Dawson, but you got it right.
Yeah, like it matters in how you play, and that's where like even the topic of Akuma and Vega, it's like we mentioned this in the other server where it was like, it matters how well Akuma works for Vega to work, or vice versa, or something like that. It's like, yeah, it's just the synergy in the combo, and you doing it by hand, and also making sure that you don't just go Akuma Super into his C2 and you Raging Demon every time. No, you gotta, whisper the enemy sweet nothings. You gotta caress them, and then you gotta wind up, and then you gotta mollywop them. That's the way it works.
Vega only works because Akuma deals a crap ton of damage, because Vega scales with damage dealt by, just total damage dealt to the unit he's attacking.
Yeah.
But indeed, like you say, Akuma is a special unit in a sense that you don't always use both his combos, because sometimes his C2 is a trigger and it will automatically go off. Which when you're at FS30 is the first 3 initial cast, which is why you run Rose in the lineup. Well, which is why you see Wills run Rose in the lineup. I think Guy is another great alternative for it, because it enhances your C3 by 20%.
Yeah, you have a buffer before you start using it.
Mm-hmm.
40% with FS30.
So when they actually fix Gen and his clone does his ultimate every 3rd rotation, Gen Vega should be a pretty strong pairing.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm curious to see that actually. Like I'm down to see some more variety in Evil Abyss, because right now I'm always chilling around top 10, except for Syrah, because Syrah is a horrible boss, and I just already am glad if I'm top 50 in Evil Abyss.
Wait, which one is that?
It's the one that energy drains, nukes your team, silences. It was the previous one, the one that no one.
You have to start it on the first rotation, and it's a whole
No,
thing.
you don't actually. The highest damaging combo is you actually let your energy drain, and you start doing it when your combo meter reaches 1.5 again. That is when you can do the most damage.
I actually did it. That one, I believe I hit like 320 mil on that, on that boss, and I did it right at 80 seconds or 79 seconds.
Oh, Sir Turtle, I remember what I was about to say. Like, for when you first hit 2 teams fight, the 2 teams, probably the best 2 teams that you could probably make for those fights is Bison, Blanca, Dhalsim, E Honda on tag, and Abel. Yeah, Abel's probably the best. Abel, Bizengif, Guile, Street Poison. That's the 2 teams that you would run, and it's the best. And like Flanka, Dhalsim, Bison combo does, for me, it and E Honda, of course, it clears the wave or stage faster than the Guile Abel team. I had to retry way more on the Guile Abel team. It's not because I can't land the buffs is just because Abel just dies and stuff. But the Bison, Flanka, Dalsim team, they just melt. Like you probably just need one intro and then you're done because they do so much damage from all the pairings together. So yeah, that team that you're running with the Dalsim, Flanka, Bison is pretty good.
Yeah, and like with the support, you have options. Like right now, primarily I use Elena because, as my tag, well, not my tag, my assist, I change frequently from Fei Long to Maya Cody to E Honda to Abel to Zangief. Like I throw around a whole bunch of different, depending on like if I need more damage versus survivability. But Elena is primarily always there, because of like her damage buff, her heal over time, her her battery to allow you to super more. Like she has so many benefits, and like people are like, yeah, she commits suicide. And I'm like, I haven't had that issue. Like if she runs forward, she's fine. And if one person dies and she drops down, she's already dropping down for me. So I don't have the issue that everyone's saying. Like if I'm gonna die, I'm dying at that point.
Yeah, for Elena's plus 30 and like the suicide thing, it's mainly just campaign. Like for PvP, she has enough to not get annihilated in one shot. And in bosses, you know, having the heal plus a potential attack up is way better than just not having it at all.
Yeah.
So in both cases, PvP and bosses, it's a really good option to plus 30 or Elena. But then for challenges, sometimes getting one shot because, you know, for me, I rely on Abel's shield to not get one shotted because they have immune shield or Bison itself. But if she comes in and then she's probably in front of your tank because she's attacking while she does the dance, the super.
Yeah, but
So
you're not doing it when the enemy is gonna combo. Though it's kind of like waiting for them to for you to beast thingy. That's what I'm saying. It's like the way people use beast thingy is how you gotta use Elena. Just don't be stupid. Don't chuck her in front of people.
Yeah, I mean,
if you can do beast thingy, you can do Elena.
To be fair, the best pairing for Elena in higher challenge story campaign is with Zangief, just because it enables it to not die or to, you know, stop her, or to let her do what she's supposed to do, or her plus 30.
Is it possible for me to unlearn Beast Zangief's fighting spirit? Because he always does a double stomp, and it just ruins my timing.
Yeah. It's actually so annoying. It's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But the thing that's nice about it is it gives base stats, so it keeps him alive longer. And sometimes when you don't properly interrupt, like again, for example, he will always deal some damage. It's good to have some survivability from his FS.
I mean,
because it gives HP.
The occasional stun could come in handy sometimes. I mean, you're not counting on it, but also the going in front. Right now, I used it with OG Zangief. Double Zangief in one team, and he basically is. Since I'm in a higher level, I'm not crazy. I mean, the deficit is crazy, but then since you're not using B Zangief, you're gonna go a little bit higher, so you're not getting completely one-shotted. He becomes like a decent off tank, like getting the hits somewhat. So then your Zangief or OG Zangief or anyone that's up front can take somewhat of a burden. And when you have the heal, then you're getting 2 times the heal output because you have two person taking the different in damages. So then you're healing technically. I mean, it's not better healing, but then since you have 2 different units, the healing output is better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I vouch for Elena. Like her heals as an overall for everyone is just too good, especially the over time. Because it's like, all right, this is how I use Elena. because of the term surviving. How everyone uses Beast Zangief to interrupt, I use Elena to survive. So if I know the enemy team is about to go ham on me, I'll be like, all right, let's say Chun-Li. Okay, Chun-Li does her Shikoku whatever crap, and it goes through my team. I have to wait right as it passes my Dhalsim to then hit Elena, so that way Elena won't get nuked by the tail of the Chun-Li thing. And because I'm using most likely a Honda or Able on like Dhalsim or Flanka or whatever, and I really don't give a shit about Bison, I only care about Dhalsim and Flanka. That's one of the best things that also for me is that I don't care about Bison. He's useless to me outside of just being surviving, because that's his job to me. Once it goes through and then Elena drops, and let's say I get to a point where I'm like, oh shit, I lost 90% of my health, I'm back to 75 almost immediately by Elena, and then the dots bring me to full. And because I have the damage buff and because I have the ramp on the super, I then after that get to super before the enemy team supers, because of that slight speed bump on the super. And because of that, and I'm already at full, I then trigger my combo and have my dots already going off before the enemy goes off. And that's what allows me to keep myself going and keep the combos of Dhalsim burns and stuff triggering off. Yeah, I'm an auto gang. I'm lazy, I'm sorry.
Honestly, Elena, I personally believe Elena is better than S Yang. I know a lot of people like S Yang more, but I still like Elena more.
So the thing about the whole debate is, as Yang is better at making your team take the initial hits, but when you can't kill the opposing team within 30 seconds or 35 seconds, then that becomes way better, because your team has more survivability due to the heal she gives, because all of your team will have taken damage by then, so her heals are actually meaningful.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean they each have their own plate, because for me I beat the stage with Bison, Vega, Dhalsim, and S Yang. I tried the same exact thing, but instead of S Yang Elena, I couldn't do it. But S Yang allowed the effect accuracy to let the bleed and the burn tick, and the shield actually was able to take the initial hit from the super. So they each have their own plates. That's definitely a thing. Because like you have roles as well. Let's say you do E Honda Rose, DPS, and maybe either you could double tank or you could double DPS or you could double support. It depends on your jam really.
What I heard is you know the S Yang fix, right? Pika says that the fix was actually that the damage increase was not even increasing himself's damage. So they just fix it for himself. So it might not even be for the team. But Payne made the video that it does work for the team now after the fix. So I didn't do my testing. I should have actually. But I just followed Payne's one and I just said, okay, you know, let it just be true.
Look, people tell me that the effect accuracy thing works now. And I was like, how'd you know? And they're like, because the DPS one works. And I was like, all right, sure. Like I can't say no, you know, I don't know. And when I use it, it seems like it's working. So I guess.
Yeah, man, I just hope it works.
I do too. I legitimately hope it works.
I have a side comment. I know this is off topic a little bit, but okay, Tix. I noticed that EU really likes Zangief, original Zangief, in their showdown teams.
He's good.
But I mean, I can beat it with the same team, but using B Zangief instead of Zangief.
I mean, okay, B Zangief is in a different team for me, and then Zangief is like a good utility because there's not a lot of good units that does stuff without being in the combo chain. that okay. So OG Zangief, he provides that
Defense.
the elemental resistance without being there. But then okay, well, from my OG Zangief team, like he has the 1 and 2 that is really supportive as well. I don't use it in the combo chain, the 1 and 2. But then, for example, I have S Yang in my lineup with before that was Elena before S Yang. But then after I faced this showdown team that I faced, and I tried it with sparring with Simba, there was a Diablo 4 update. So then I just had 2 fights with him when I was preparing for my fight. I lost it, right? Because I didn't have anyone else in the same power to continue my testing. But then I was like, fuck it, I'll just run the same team. Mistake, I lost showdown. But that being said, I think S Yang over Elena in that comp was better. So whenever S Yang is also more tankier, but S Yang is in the main lineup. So okay, OG Zangief, Flanka, S Yang, and Dalsim or Viper. My opponent was using Viper. Both is pretty good, but then like there's 2 things I wanna mention. One is supports on the front line. Don't sleep on it. Like it's good, and also DPS on the tag position can sometimes be good, just because it offloads the damage that they would have taken, and then you can just get it all through for free.
Yep.
So yeah, those 2, like tag on DPS on tag, and also supports on the main lineup should not be slept on.
Also, I'm gonna add on to that. Like, please play around with tag. I mean, not tag, assist. Like everyone, so I get damage is the king. Cool, whatever. Like, boring,
no.
blah blah blah. Get over it. Like, not you, Evo. Like you if you're using Dawson and on both variations on your own, then like you're a man of culture. But some people like Flake like to use Dawson on assist. And I got problems with that.
Well, why are we still bringing this up, man? I'm using Dalsim as one of my main carry in my club teams.
The last picture I saw, he was assist, and you hurt my soul. I was just like, not cool.
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was like over
okay.
now.
Oh no!
You know, better assist.
I have reforms.
A lot of people are sleeping on this assist, but a lot of people don't have him because he's pay to win. Is Nero? Nero is actually a really, really good assist.
That's the only legendary unit I didn't buy.
Yeah, because his assist, basically you can get up to 15% extra damage and 36% parry.
Yeah, I've read that as well.
Both, get the both, and then to get the stacks is easy. Just do a combo.
Yeah, it's like Rose assist, but on steroids, basically.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yo.
You're here officially, Don.
How come I don't hear enough people talk about jury assist? She can give you 24%, right?
Because no one can build them, though. That's
I wish I had her.
No one can build
I
them.
clearly talk enough about jury assist.
I see.
Yeah.
You know who has jury assist? Troa.
Does he really?
Yep, he sure does.
Like, that's what I'm saying. It takes random ass people to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna build jury. Like, for me, I don't even know. Let me go check how many juries I got.
Okay, I'm 1 copy away from SS jury, so I have her assist almost.
She's A+,
but I'm not gonna summon for it.
Jury's assist is good if you know the fight's gonna be long. Like mattering where you're using it. Like boss fight, yeah, she's good. And if it's like a PvP fight and stuff, the PvP, unless you're making, like I told you, Tix, the keep the Dalsim alive team, like the fight's gonna end really quick. So jury won't have enough time.
My thing about jury assist is the 2-piece infernal bonus when you're using jury to assist specifically Bison, and Bison starts the fight out with an AoE damage ability. You're basically putting 0.6% less attack on the enemy. Like, it's not just 24% attack for the person being assisted by jury. It's also an AoE attack down for the enemy team, and it's 10 speed. So like, it's really strong, and it doesn't necessarily need to stack up to that full 24%. My carry hit all 4 of your guys in like one rotation. It doesn't really need to do that to have a major impact on the fight.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what the thing for me is like, and that's why I try to tell spread out, like give units a chance, because like I've been playing since day one. I only got an A+ jury. Like I'll eventually experience that maybe 6 months down the line, if that. But it's there, Like there's these amazing assists. Like apparently Virgil's pretty dope, Dante's pretty dope. Monster Hunter
Dante's
Ken
broken.
as a assist is pretty dope, and these are all pay to win units technically.
Yeah.
So
Virgil's assist is like the most broken assist too, because it's like basically Bison but on steroids.
yeah, so like that's why I want to play around with assists, because there's survive options, E Honda, Zangief, Abel. There's DPS options. Fei Long, Mayor Cody, Chung Li, so on and so forth. Like, there's a whole bunch of different ways. And then, like, here's my other question. I get for everyone here. This could be the final topic of the call. Is how important is the faction bonus to you? Because for me, I don't give a shit about it. I've never really cared. I use faction Blanca since day one.
So it is good for challenge teams. Let's say you run 4 teams, right? Ideally, you want to maximize at least 4 bonus, but 3 is also fine. You want to take it in consideration, but you're not gonna sacrifice units for it. If you can make a team and get the bonus, it is really good.
Yeah.
Let's say you can't do it. It is not a big deal because you're running better units. Units are way more valuable than the faction bonus.
Like for me, the only time I ever used for me ideally, the only factional bonus I actually like is Infernos, and like that's the only one. So like I don't really do it in stages, but like in boss events, I'll use like, for example, like Bison, MH Ken, and then I'll use like Jury and Evil Kuma or Evil Ryu as an assist, just so I can get the 4 right there. But usually I don't look at like, oh my god, I don't have all 5, all of them matched up and everything. It's not big enough for me.
What are you sharing?
I totally use the faction bonuses against boss fights, especially if it's 3 teams. The first team is like you already stat on your first team, so you can't really do much about that. And then on the third team, you're like, all right, well, who do I use for assist now? It's like I don't have like 50 SSS characters, so I just throw in a couple of masteries and be like, all right, well, I get my 10% bonus. That's it. And that's usually my weakest team anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
So is everyone like primarily focused on like there's 2 of the 3 teams, and then the third one's kind of like a whatever?
So what I do is I try to maximize my 3 teams to my best potential. I'll have my first team, I'll maximize that team, then with my remaining units, and I'll look at the assist position, the assists again, and maybe I can swap them out. But I'm going to my second team, clean slate. I look at the units I have left. I build the best team with that, and then third team, I again look at my units, and then I see what I have left. But
outside of interrupt, what are you using as a criteria for your team? As a personal enjoyment, I guess. More like, again, not necessarily in the meta, but like at some point in time, you're gonna.
Are we talking boss battles or challenge, or what are we talking?
Story and 3 teams in general. Like what you gotta get to actually.
Because I'm on quad teams.
All right, whatever.
I'm on 5 teams and so annoying.
Yeah, it's actually
world problems.
It's so disrespectful. But so what you want to do ideally is you've got your Bison team. Your Bison team is pretty straightforward. You've got your DPS, you've got your Bison, you've got the survivability due to Bison. If you can't survive the initial combo, you put a Poison X move in there, and that usually that team 2-shots the wave regardless for me, because I'm using Bison Dhalsim, it eats up the full wave. See, I used Dhalsim. Then the other teams, I usually I have my Elena left, I have my Street Poison left, and I have my Yang left. I for sure want any of these teams have one of these supports. Why? Because they all offer either extra damage or they offer the survivability that the team needs, because they don't have a frontliner that can actually resurrect. Besides for maybe the Viril team, but we don't talk about that because I don't have Viril. I use him as a merc. But ideally, what you want to do is you want the DPS, you want a tank, and you want a support. The 4 slots you want to fill with a utility. Utility, I count Beast and Geef, I count Guy. And the trend with those is they offer a C2. And that C2 of boosts your damage. It clumps the enemy team up, it does whatever, but it does something for your C3. Because your combo and your C3 is what you want to maximize. You've got your support, and then you've got your C2, which is also a support, but more utility based than just straight up healing or shielding.
So one thing I want to say about how you're talking about, I remember about the whole team and about the C2s. How come people are sleeping on freaking H-Hun C2?
I don't have HM built.
I don't have her either.
Yeah, that's one of the problems is that like outside of Wales, even like the casuals and the tryhards, because the problem is one of the problems here that's been made known is the tryhards here are mostly free to play. So they don't spend the money on getting like H-Hun, Vega, and all that shit max.
That's why this is with me, because even though I try hard still.
So my whole thing is that when I went for my second unit, H-Hun was not like released yet, so I went for Rose. And now I'm like, okay, I've also got Rose. Do I really want H-Hun, or do I want to get a DPS? And I went for Trini Kemi. And now I'm noticing that I'll probably need a Sagat in the future, so I'm building Sagat now because I have my DPSs and I have my supports. H-Hun, the issue with H-Hun is it fills a similar role to other units because it's Elena x Honda in a sense that Honda blocks out projectiles like H-Hun does, and she heals like Elena does. So it's like 2 characters in one in that way. But what account needs that over other units?
So let me stop you right there. She does way more than that. She's a Zangief, OG Zangief. She's also she does damage. So whoever you want to talk about, like she's a Chung Li's and super damage. And she also she does a lot of buffs too, like Elena heal and her buff, because don't forget she gives damage buffs too. So yeah, like cause she her little vortex it reduces damage. It gives less elemental damage. It boosts damage. It could give you skill damage if you use her C2. And then if you use like your masters and wind people, her FS30 helps a lot for that too.
I have a question, by the way. Since you have all these characters, let's say there's a free-to-play, right? And he's looking into his second unit that he has to build after Bison. And I mean Infernal Master units that are not in the special summons. I'm talking about divination units. Who would be the second unit you should go for?
Second unit to go for in
divination, because the current debate is between Sagat, H-Shun, and Rose is what I'm getting from most people.
I wouldn't go for Rose.
Well, the argument for Rose is that she's still a great assist.
Yeah.
And she's available because you can also buy her in the shop. So
that's
she's
true too.
Cheap.
But the way I always told my free-to-play friends is just buy her only at the shop. Or whenever you could get a free copy, do it like that. Because why spend divination tickets when you could go and get somebody else that you cannot get in the shop?
It's 14. It's 14 tickets. It's 14 copies you need for a triple S.
Yeah, but I'm not saying like use it for all 14, but just like gather up. Like let's say, because like you said, they just started the game, so until
not necessarily started. Not necessarily started because usually what I advise people after Bison is that they use their gems on FS30 boxes, right, on the Booster kits.
Yes.
So after they've done that, that is when they should go for the second triple S, so they have a more established account.
Yeah, so I would technically, honestly, I would actually, now that Summer Ibuki is out, I would go for Summer Ibuki.
And why?
because I don't know. I think I put this in our Discord. Because she's a trigger unit. As a second unit to have a trigger unit, so you already have Bison already.
Oh, trigger assassin at
Summer
that.
Buki. Huh?
A trigger assassin at that.
Yes, that's why. And she's like a chunk. Like, like people sleep on her. One of her triggers where like she basically gives you your super bar is never empty. Because she's like the Chung Li's C3 where it fills up your bar, but hers is consistent. It's not like, it's like off a crit. It's every time it hits 6 times, which is very simple. It just fills up your bar right off the back. So she's just in your team. That doesn't need to use any spells or skills or anything, but she still gives you so much like versatility with damage, with like other stuff, and then you can still use like. Okay, so you'll have Bison, you'll have like a Lena or Street Poison, you'll have her, and then you can, if you get a Beef Zangief, sorry, it's Turtle, but like if you get like a Beef Zangief for somebody for your C2, then that team alone can go take you far in stages and whatnot.
Yeah, because don't you get battery boost with the more speed you have? That's why Vega's so good.
Yes.
Yeah, so like, I definitely can see why Summer Buki is not.
So my thing that I tell anybody that asks me, like, is this character good? Like, for example, a lot of people ask me, is Summer Ibuki good? Because, of course, I maxed her out day 1, so I've been testing her. I will tell anybody, if you have the resources as in game, you saved up, whatever, or if you can buy it, get any trigger type of characters. Trigger types are one of the best type of characters to have in your team. MH Ken, Evil Ryu, Summer Ibuki now. Like, triggers are amazing because you don't have to do anything. And there's plenty of other characters that you could work around combos with that they're just going to feed off of.
And it's notable that this is the first trigger character that's actually like truly available for a free-to-play player
Yes,
to like actually play at some point in a reasonable point in account progression. And like tying back into what Flake had mentioned earlier, like when you're setting down to make a team, your basic team core structure is always going to be tank, carry, support. And that's your full combo bar right there because your carry is going to use 2 skills on that. So you're always going to have this 4th spot that's floating. So like having a character that sits there and plays off the skill bar like M. Bison, Evil Ryu, Gormagala Ken, or Summer Ibuki, it opens up a lot for your box. And especially when you get into multi-team content, you're going to have some teams that are just kind of like riding the struggle bus, let's put it politely, early on in your progression. It's going to be asking you to make a team 2 or a team 3, and you're going to have some pretty sus units and some pretty... having those sus units that are paired with a strong off-bar unit like a Rose or a Summer Ibuki or something like that can really be a nice stopgap in your account's progression when you're trying to build multiple full strong teams. So just having that tool available is so useful.
And then another thing too is people sleep on Summer Ibuki. Like people that I've seen that has her, they like, I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing, but like her super is actually really good because it boosts her damage a lot. And the thing about her that I noticed, I'm pretty sure it might be all trigger units, is the faster you spam, the worse it is for trigger units. You want their, so like for example, like let's say you use her super also will boost up her trigger damages each time it crits or something like that, or whatever it does, but it boosts up her damage. So let's say you use her super, then you're gonna use your C1, then her first passive is gonna, or her first trigger is gonna kick in. If you wait like 1 second in between, if like just a little bit of time, she'll throw her thing out. Then if you use your C2, then her next trigger comes out. But if you spam everything too fast, her animation will stop. Like she'll use her C1 trigger and that's it. Her C2 will not come out.
Depends if you wanted to mention something.
I was gonna say, so like characters like MH Ken, Evil Ryu, and Ibuki, they don't have like they don't have an activatable C2. So like
No.
usually those characters were like you have to sacrifice a unit, like no tank or like 'cause someone has to fill a C2 spot.
No, that's why you have your, so it will be usually like your character. Okay, let's just say let's say T Cammy, for example. We'll just put T Cammy as a carry. T Cammy will do her super, then it'll be your support, whatever. Usually every tank has a C2. Like except for E Honda doesn't, but like Abel does, like Zangief does, like tanks have, like Nero does. So that could be your C2, and then your T Cammy will come back and do your do her C3 while Ibuki's still hitting everything she's doing. Her C1 and C2. So basically you're double dipping on C1 and C2 since you're getting it twice basically.
Okay, so those 3 tanks you mentioned, those are basically the 3 tanks for the 3 triggered units then, right?
You can use that.
Yeah. Because Bison does not have a C2 as well.
No.
I'm looking at other tanks. I'm not looking at T-Hawk, by the way.
No.
I know it's his birthday and all, but
Look
sorry,
at DJ.
T-Hawk,
I dare you.
But that's the thing too. Like, yes, I understand. Like, that's the ideal lineup is have a tank and this and that. But sometimes you don't really need it. Like, I think it was Tix that mentioned it. Like, for example, like B Zangief, he can actually tank decently enough, just enough, because the whole idea is you're gonna basically burst them down. Mattering how you build out your team, you want to kill them, but Bice or B Zangief can hold it down enough for you to do enough damage to kill them off. Because all it takes is once you kill one unit, it makes it a lot easier. Usually you'll mess up their combo lineup and you'll mess up like a lot of things for them.
There is one thing though with trigger units, and that is if a unit dies,
Yes.
your combo is fucked.
Yep.
So that is something you have to keep into consideration. You can't slot trigger the units into bad lineups.
Of course.
Yeah, but
Done.
that's just something that I want to reiterate because we're telling people to go Summary Ibuki second. Make sure your team is properly set up before you invest in her, because she does not fill a role if your team is not strong enough to hold her.
Yeah, she fits a unique role that it has to synergize well. Like, that's the key word I think that everyone forgets, is like the most important thing in this game is synergy. Realistically, it's synergy.
Yes, and that's the thing too with her and Bison's team. Like, even though she, like, so Bison is already an amazing tank. Even though he's not considered a tank, he's an amazing tank. Everybody knows that because he can't die basically. So like, even with her, let's just say because she's a second unit, you're trying to divination for. You'll have Bison, you'll have her, you'll have like Street Poison Elena, for example, and then your carry. So your carry, let's just say, is free to play. You'll get F Blanca for free after 30 days. So there's your super and your C2 right there from F Blanca.
And also what people forget is that Bison C3 does a fuck ton of damage.
It does.
But there's really not many people using Bison C3. Like, I've had this conversation with EXDP, and I like showed the damages of one of my teams, which was an F Blanca Bison team. And he was like, how does your Bison deal this much damage? And I'm telling him like, well, my Bison, first of all, he's only SSS. I think +5 could actually be a nerf for Bison, because you want him to explode as much as you can, and +5 gives him extra HP. Sure, it gives him extra attack as well. I'm not too sold on it. It's a debate for another time.
Yeah.
But the thing about Bison is his C3. It can also stun.
His explosion. That's where the damage comes from, is his explosion. Like, his dash doesn't do as much, but it's the ending where he explodes, and then he'll go back and explode again. So that's where it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, with the stun, you want to proc his AoE explode. Maybe he dies in story or something like that, and then they apply a weaken, and then that weaken can turn into a stun. It's not really like, you can't do it like conditionally, right? You can maybe pay attention and then have better awareness, but then it's not like 100% chance that you're gonna land what you want.
So basically, it has a 30% chance to stun. But it is not a way to interrupt realistically, because it's not something you can actually play around of enough to be successful.
Maybe if you require only one maybe you can like rerun it until you get that to happen, and then just clear it. But yeah, I mean, it's not something where you can
It's
do
not
it like
reliable enough.
you can't do it like 2 times in a row. That's like unrealistic.
Yeah, you can't rely on it. It's a nice thing to have, but just the fact that it does true soul damage, it deals a whole lot of damage, and it is a free C3 that you can use with Fashion Blanca and Elena.
I mean, that just
makes
reminds,
it a good team.
like that reminds me of something that I probably would start doing right now. Is in my third team, like the first one, Zangief, the first 2 is covered, right? Those are pretty easy to land. But what I'm gonna start doing on my Bison, like the hide behind Bison comp, usually there is enough for that team to work. Sometimes it's not the case, but I mean, in that case, I would use a Merc if it's not really Bison friendly on any of them. But in the case of maybe you can use the Toxic Love cheese, but that only works for one time, right? To stop the combo 1 or combo 2, or just to have the tank take all that damage. But then I would probably, when I push again, try for a Bison Explode on the first turn if I need more than 1 combo to clear that stage, and then use a Toxic Love. That might be too much to ask, but it could be a good way to get 2 combo rotations instead of just 1, relying on 1.
One thing that's also really good about Bison C3s, let's say you're facing a Jury, right, in challenge. You can actually bait the Jury C3 to attack Finnair, because Bison dashes forward for a second, and if you time that well, then Jury tries to attack that, but by that time your Bison is already back in your team, and Jury is just realistically attacking Finnair.
It's kind of like the Crusade boss with the spiders, and then you use Bison to make you basically dodge everything.
Yep.
But one thing I want to say,
spiders, you can just use the Ken X move, the flaming fire that one shots all of the spiders.
Yeah, no, I'm saying about when not the actual like mini spiders, but the actual spider, you can dodge all of the troopers. But one thing I want to say about Summer Ibuki too is that since I'm pretty sure, I don't know how much you guys looked into her, but like the way her kit is worked, you guys know that like she also gives the whole team 30% crit, right?
Nope, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So basically, her C2, it says for every target hit, increases all teammates' crit rate by 10% for 5 seconds, and stacks up to 3 times. You throw 3 rings out at a time every time you do a C2, and then let's say you're doing a stage or anything. There's 3 enemies out in this field. You're gonna hit them at least 3 times, like easily.
Yep. It's only for 5 seconds, so you can't really realistically keep up the stacks, but it's really good because it's a C2. So when you do your C3, you'll have 30% more crit rates, which just makes your team more consistent in the crit department, because your C3 realistically has to crit. Like, let's say a Gal that doesn't crit, it's laughable what damage he does then.
I would say technically you will be able to use a C3 and a super within that 5 seconds, because once again, she fills up your super bar. So your super bar, like after you use your combo, your bar is already up.
Yeah, that's true.
So one thing I will say, like I told Payne about it, but even my Shadow, what is it called again? The Guild Shadowlands for trials, I've been actually using Summer Ibuki as my team for as part of my team, and she's doing a lot of damage because she's so fast, and her speed, the 100%, she gets like 120% or 120 speed right when you start off the battle, but it declines like every within couple seconds, whatever. It keeps dropping down, but then with her FS30, it always resets back to 120.
Yep.
So she's fast, and very, very fast. And then also with her is, if she's faster than the opponent that she's going against, which she is, then like 99% of the characters, she does 2 damage to each and every one of them.
It's insane what the damage output. Like we've all tried her in the realms.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was a joke because of how good Samurai Buki was.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't sure if you want damage dealer as your second divination as well, or if support was better. But you think that Samurai Buki is the better choice of the 3 main units in the conversation? Well, 4 actually, because Sagat is also in this conversation. So of the 4 units.
Yeah, because like I said, you're going for your second divination, so you're not in the realm of going for 2 team fights anytime soon. So
that might not be the case, considering my point of you want to get your initial team to plus 31st. Let's say you have 5 or 6 plus 30s, and then you start delving into them. There's a lot of players that by that time reach 36-24.
Oh dang!
So I'm gonna throw this out, like in terms of second choice after Bison, I only went this route because Tix convinced me how important bossing is, and I'm going to add it that I'm also taking into consideration special summon units as well, because everyone has to do both, or should do both, because you just get tickets anyways, right? So I chose Vega because I'm also building Akuma, and it's a focus of just pure bossing.
Oh wait, another question that I have.
In the long term, you're not gonna regret it, but
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think, and it's like because of the fact that what they do as a kit and then what they do synergistically, like I don't think I'm gonna regret it. That's why that's my choice.
But then as a second choice though, like for example, for you, because let's just talk about like stage. Okay, for bosses, yeah, that'll be. I'm pretty sure that'll be better than Summer Buki, most likely. But and once again, like I said, like as a second choice for where they're gonna be at in the game, you're not gonna really be using Vega as much, like until you get Akuma like up and ready too.
Well,
honestly, I think
would say
in 3
opposite,
months.
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so let's say you're playing for 2 to 3 months. Most players by that time are closing in on their special summon units. From my experience, on my main, I haven't purchased a single special summon, and I'm sitting on an SSS Akuma. On my free-to-play, I have an S plus Evil Ryu after 40 days. I think it is obtainable. So his Vega will probably hold value. But what I wanted to really ask is, what is more value? Let's say you get your triple S Akuma or Evil Ryu, or now Gouken, how you pronounce it?
Gouken.
Yeah, Gouken.
Okay. Let's say you have that unit to triple S. What is more important? The Samurai Buki or getting the 5 stars on those champions?
I never think 5 stars is worth it anyway, so I don't care.
5 stars is only worth it if you are a whale.
Yeah, that's literally such a I don't care thing. Like, my units are 5 stars because they're free to play and I just get them. Like 5-star Bison, I literally give no shits about.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not talking 5-star Bison. 5-star Bison is not important.
5-star, any of them, any master or Inferno.
I'm talking DPS.
Yeah, DPS.
Yeah, but
it
any
does make
master
a difference.
Inferno,
Don't get me wrong.
One that you're gonna want at 5 stars if you want.
Yes, like 5 stars. 5 stars do make a difference. Do not get me wrong. Like for DPS, it does, because even for me, like I'm getting my FS up to 40s right now. All my like carries. Even though it gives me 10% damage boost, that's still 10% extra damage boost. Or like some of them will give me an extra more crits and all that stuff. So like to me, it's minimal. Yes, it is. But then that's why I'm saying though, like it's to get like
Samurai Buki or 5 stars on Akuma or Evil Ryu.
Samurai Buki.
Okay.
How many units does it take to 5 stars?
You said Evil Ryu too?
Here's my question.
Evil Ryu? If you said Evil Ryu, I'll go for Evil Ryu over Samurai Buki. Oh, wait. Evil Ryu 5 stars? Or just
just let's say by the time you want to go for your second divination unit, you have a triple S special summon unit, whether it's Goken, whether it's Evil Ryu, or whether it's Akuma. 5-star or Summary Buki? You want to get them from triple
I'll
S
go
to
Summary
5-star?
Buki.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what I would say too. Mattering at where you are in stages and part of the game wise, I would even just like if you really want Akuma 5 stars, just use divination to get a copy of Summer Buki, because she's also, once again, just a trigger type of champion. So you're not using you're not using any skills. She's not hurting you. So you can still use an A copy, and she'll still, like, it might tickle, but it's still something, and she still gives you crit and stuff like that. So, and she gives you super bars.
Super bar, I checked on it, and then it's only at FS30.
Wait,
yeah,
so you're telling me
you're right.
you'd rather a 5-star over 10 copies of a unit?
No. He's saying the
No.
other. He's saying go Submarine Buki over 5-star.
Oh,
He's saying if
okay.
you
But I
really
don't
want the stars,
okay,
then go ahead.
But is 5-star ever good to go after? Like, that's 10 copies. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why.
that was the question.
That's a lot.
But is
So
it
I
ever
would go for
good
some-
ever, like, for any unit? Like, to
I think-
actively go for it in terms of divination and special summon.
Again,
So-
this is very account based, but let's say you've got like your 4 teams or 3 teams ready, and they're all set and done, and you don't really need to change anything. I think that is fine to go for 5 stars.
Yeah,
on carries.
that's obviously when you want to
So-
do it.
I was gonna throw this in. On my account, my Bison did not get to 5 stars until I basically had everybody SSS. Then I was like, oh, let me, like, because I never thought it was really worth it. Even in AFK Arena, I'm like, it's just a ego thing. Like, oh, look, my character's 5 stars. But I never cared for it as much as getting all the characters or all the main characters that you need. That's more important. Because once again, like, you could go and get Summer Buki, you could go get Rose or A Chung or Sagat, and compared to one character getting a 10% stat boost.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Okay. That was a debate that I wanted out because 10 copies is only 4 copies away from like a triple S unit in Master Infernal.
Yes. That's, I tell all my friends, do not, like, unless you're gonna start wailing and you don't care, sure, then be my guest, but get your characters first. Get like all the main like characters you want. And I always tell my friends, like, try to get enough characters to make a good team comp of 3 teams, because eventually you'll be there, like, not that long from now, you know. So that's my first like tip I tell people: try to make a team, a set of like 3 teams, like a good 3 team sets, and then you could start going for 5 stars if you really want it.
The reason I just want to add that 3 teams are important is triple team stages end on 3920. 3920 is also when you get the last dojo buff, which is ideally where you can stop and just be happy.
Yeah. And I always say 3 teams too, because this seems like this. Most of these events that are coming out is 3 teams too.
I hope that, like, my hope is that the turtles do something along the lines like Yin and Yang, where they work off of each other. That would be sick.
Yeah, but then the issue with that is that the free-to-play players that are saving
I
now
don't care about them.
potentially can get
I don't care about
potentially
them.
can get 1, and then they're gonna complain, and you know what shit show it'll be.
Tough luck.
Wait, what happened with the turtle?
Tough niggas.
So what Turtle wants is that they have a synergy, right? Like Yin and Yang, where they boost each other's damage.
I believe they are.
Yeah, I hope so as well, for the record. I hope so that there's a synergy between them. It would only make sense.
Yeah, just give 1 legendary. Is what I'm hoping. 1 is at least legendary.
So what my thought process of this, I talked to Payne about this, is I think it's gonna be 1 legendary, 1 divination, and then 2 faction.
I think
Like,
No, they
1
won't do
special
divination.
summon, 1 div.
Yeah, they won't do divination, because that means it stays in the game permanently. That's the only reason why it's because that means it will stay in the game permanently. The only way that it'll be div is if it's a triple S. But
So
outside
the thing
of
is,
that,
I
it will
don't
be
think
special
they will
summon.
do more than 1. I don't think they will do more than 1 regular summon. I think we might get one, but don't get your hopes up for anything more than one.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even think we'll get one regular summon. I'd be surprised.
I'm hopeful for it, but I'm not expecting it.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they're going to make
look.
like Leonardo and Donatello. Those are going to be the two main like.
Here's my dream. Like I would love. I doubt they would do it in like throw it in regular summon, but I'd be okay if they put the turtles as factions. So Raphael Fire, Leonardo Wind, Michelangelo Thunder, and then Donatello Legendary, and put the 3 and yeet them in divination. I'd be down for that.
They're not gonna do that because
I know they're not. I absolutely,
yeah.
But I think that would be fucking dope.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, this is what I will say is, it's not because of the game. Like I'm pretty sure Top Joy don't give a shit about us, but it's not because of the game. It's because of the contract they're gonna be making, and if they keep the characters in game forever, type of thing, that's an expensive contract that they're gonna have to be paying.
Yep.
And if they don't make any money, like the money back from it, the game is gonna die for sure.
Yeah, so that's why I don't see them doing like divination.
Yeah.
They'll do I think 3 special summon and 1 legendary, or 2 special summon and 2 legendary.
You know what would be a nice idea too would be like, let's say if, when all 4 of them comes out, like they let us at least, like if they do give us a free character, like of course make us work for it type of thing, do in-game stuff, dailies, whatever, and then let us pick one out of the 3 type of thing.
Well, the issue with that is that there will always be one character that is better.
That's OP. Yeah,
of
course.
Stupendous.
And
You wanted to
then
mention
people are
something?
not gonna go for their favorite character. They're gonna go for the character that is
Sometimes.
the better one of the
The reason why I'm saying that though, is because in my opinion, that's a smart business move. Because let's say we're right and they make it so all 4 of them have some kind of synergy. Now you're just because you gave 1 for free, now everybody's gonna want the other 3 because of course they wanted to synergize.
Stupendous. You wanted to say something?
I was gonna say like, so every time we have a collab, right, we end up fighting the collab. So does that mean we're gonna fight the turtles?
Yeah.
I
Because
think we're gonna fight.
we're gonna fight.
Shredder.
No. The reason why is because the comments are Street Fighter versus Ninja Turtles. They already have comics out of Street Fighter fighting.
Oh yeah,
the
true
Turtles.
actually.
So that's what it is a Street Fighter versus Turtles.
They're less likely to put a bunch of game assets in that aren't playable for IP that's not theirs, because that's stuff they may have to pay extra for and whatnot.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so to copy
I think
and
Danos
flip
mentioned
a
something last
turtle.
podcast.
Yeah, so just to flip a turtle, I'm like, I fight this motherfucker is easier than now you gotta fight Shredder, but you're fighting him with turtles.
Even though it would be fucking dope.
It would be, but here's the thing: is like realistically, if you're a TMNT fan, do you honestly think the turtles would like team up against the Street Fighter? They'll want to whoop their ass. I think they would, especially Raphael. He walks in there and he looks at Guile with the funky hair, and he's gonna look at him like, "Who's the mutant? Us or him? Because what is this?"
We'll see how they do. All I know is that if they this is what I will say. If they make all 4 of them pay to win, where they're all like in divination, I will not spend a cent ever again on this game.
They'll most likely be special summon more than div.
Yeah.
Okay, even if they're all 4 of them are special summons, I will not pay 1 more cent to this game.
Yeah, I mean, it will just be a ripoff. Like, I'm hoping that at least free to play gets something, because I'm very vocal about this. I've said this also plenty of times before. Free to plays expect way too much, because in the end, this game is a business, and they're not just gonna give out everything for free.
Yes.
But I do agree with them that there should be something in events for them.
Yes.
Yes.
And in the previous collabs, what have we had? We had MHK with an SSD. Well, SSD before SSD existed, I guess. We've had Dante with SSD. We have Vertical with SSD, and then Nero was a legendary unit that was only available for purchase. What I'm expecting them to do is have one of the units flank alike, where you have a pass for 14 days, I think, because events will last 14 days, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I think a 14-day thing where you log in every day and then you get him would be fantastic ammo.
They have to. There's no way. Like for me, like
4 characters is too much. Yeah.
Okay, here's the question.
average...
Here's the question. If they do 3 or 4 special summon, but there's pity, actual known
like
pity,
AFK arena pity,
shown
like 70...
shown pity, where you see a bar and it tells you
So like
takada, you get turtle.
MHN.
Yeah, but each one
What was MHN at?
you get turtle
MH
100, turtle 150, turtle 200, turtle 300. Would that be good?
So 100 per. Well, I mean, yeah. Like if there's a pity system, like AFK Arena, it's 70. After your 70th pull, you will get a guaranteed copy. Like so, AFK Arena, shoot, I got every character you can possibly get when I was playing because the 70 pity, that's fine.
For the people that forgot what it looked like, this is what the MHN pity looks like. Yeah, I posted in the chat of the voice chat.
Okay, so for those that
compared to what we have.
Those that can't see, it is time limited wishes with the bar that goes 10, 30, 60, 90, 120. At 60 you get Monster Hunter Ken, and at 120 you get Monster Hunter Ken. So you get 2 Monster Hunter Kens in 120.
Fun fact, I summoned 100 times and I only got 1 MH Ken that was from that bar.
Yeah, but if there's a pity, yes, I will go for all of them. Like for 3 of them, 3 out of 4. Yeah, sure.
The reason why I say 3 out of 4 is because I am on the copium. I am praying. I'm begging. I am hoping at least 1 is legendary, because then that will allow me to fucking at least have 1 turtle that is triple S. Because I cannot walk.
If the rumor on the street is true, it's not gonna happen.
Listen. Shush.
What is the rumor on the streets?
Yeah, what's the rumor?
They're not going to do any more collabs like Nero. Like, they're not going to do any more.
Oh, yeah, I heard that as well.
Collab stuff like Nero.
But the complete issue with them is them.
Price, no discount, who knows? But we might not even see one. They might just be like, no more.
The issue with what they did is that if you're gonna bring out limited units that you have to spend on, make us able to try them in actual teams and not artificially made teams with like, oh yeah, here's a guy and here's a TKME. Enjoy making a team with that shit.
Yeah.
Allow us to test them.
Yeah, but for sure, if there's a pity, like, to me, ideally 70 is a perfect, like, sweet spot. But even if it's 100, no, 100 still kind of...
100 is too much, because let's say, right, you always hit a pity. You need 14 copies for a triple SS. That's 1400.
1400, yeah. But
versus what? Versus what? Wait.
Is,
versus what? 1400 versus what? What is 70?
That's why 1400 versus 2000.
Okay, that is a fair argument. But
yeah.
Because if you want 70, how much is it now? How much would it be for 70? That's what I'm saying.
70 times is what? That's 1090. 1090. No, wait, I'm doing my math completely. It's 11.
So you're saving like 300 tickets, give or take.
Wait, what can I please do math? It's 980. I'm fucking dumb. Sorry.
Y'all supposed to be good at math. What is this?
Bro, look.
Hey, just because I'm Asian does not mean I'm...
Wait, so the original question is, would we be okay with pity if it was 4 turtles, right? Is that what the question?
3, at least 3.
So, okay,
4 turtles?
I'm saying at least 3. I'm hoping and begging that 1 is legendary. So I'm saying, if you're cool with, would you be cool with 100 pity for 3 turtles, 1 legendary?
Yeah,
I would buy it just because of the fact that now because like, okay, for example, Virgil cost me a lot to, like, it took me one roll and took me, just for 1 copy, took me like 180 rolls, and I'm just like, I want to quit this right now. But but then now 180, I could basically get guaranteed 2 copies almost.
Yeah.
So I'll take that.
Yeah.
And that's only if I get to 10. Like the 10 rolls, the 100 rolls.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, would that be good? Like, you down for that stupendous or no?
I think, all right, so okay, so free to play is not gonna matter, right? So, but a whale's gonna whale, right? So that doesn't
that's
matter
what I'm
either,
saying.
right?
We're talking about casual or tryhards or whatever. Like, we're not trying to give shit away. Free to play, I'm sorry, we love you, but they don't give a fuck about you.
All right, so and I'm like a dolphin, right? So I spend, but I gotta see what I spend, right? And if you give me 3 turtles, I mean, I'll buy the legendary one, and I'll think about maybe buying one of the other ones, but there ain't no way I'm buying 3 of them.
With a pity?
Even with a pity.
Oh, no,
just a question for you guys. Since they're releasing 4 turtles, and well, we can assume at least 3 out of 4 will be special summons. What do you guys think the ideal rewards would be for the event? How many special summons should we get for free? Because right now it's
100. Every event we've been getting 105. Oh, I didn't count the last one, but Evil Ryu, Akuma, and I think was it Dante? I forgot which one. We all got 105 tickets from the 7-day waiting and from the agency and all that other crap. Okay. So I'm imagining if it's gonna be 3 turtles, all special summon tickets, we should get 300.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you want 300 tickets?
If it's 300 turtles, if it's
like
3 turtles.
Right now with this Goken thing, we're getting 40 tickets just from the Harsh Master
that was 50.
50, yeah.
20, 15, 35, 45, 50. Yeah, 50. Sorry.
Yeah, 50.
And then we'll probably get another 50 from the event itself.
Yeah.
Around that.
Yeah.
So let's say if everyone is saving, right, from now, and we're buying at least 1 copy, 1 ticket per day, let's say we're about 150 special summons by the time the turtle releases. And we get 300 for free. Let's say you're at 450 summons. Would you guys consider spending, let's say, another 200 special summons to get a triple S turtle?
I would.
If I had the guap, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, how expensive is that? Because I have no clue on how expensive they are because I never buy them.
45 tickets is $100.
Special summons, it's 20, dude.
What? No,
during events is cheaper. During events is cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I told you I would never buy anything from the mall ever. The only okay, never mind. Let me rephrase.
The $1 pack is fucking great value.
Yeah. The bundles from the characters, most of them are actually really good. I will get those, but anything from those dailies, monthly, weeklies, won't ever touch. I will never touch those.
Besides the $1 packs.
But like, even if I have 450 tickets saved up, and that's close enough for me to buy 200 tickets to SSS one of the turtles, the turtle has to be worth it for me. Like, if the turtle sucks, I'm not gonna even try it.
I mean, I don't think
we're going of the thing that it's not a Dante, but it's an MHken or a Virgil.
We're under an assumption that they're worth
Devil's advocate. They make 4 turtles that have to be played together like yin and yang. Are you still down?
Nope.
I'll get all 4 of them. If there's a pity, though. If there's a pity.
Yeah, but you have every unit maxed, man.
If you have, I'd be okay with 2. Why not
continue then, right?
I'd be okay with 2.
That's 4 triple S units.
Yeah. So, like, ideally, I always consider like $1,000 per character for triple S plus 5, give or take. So yeah, about 3,000. If like Turtle said, like one's given for free, hopefully. So that's like $3,000, give or take.
Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm just think that there won't be any free turtle given the game.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be a free turtle.
Okay, the reason why I feel like they like in a way they have to is because not a lot of people are gonna be like, oh shoot, four turtles. So, I need to buy all of them in 14 days. Not a lot of people can afford that.
I think 2 things. One, I don't know if you're aware of the conversation that we've had with with Dino. They don't care for free to play and they don't care for retention. It's more of just like, if Mama Joe and Papa Dan want to spend money, or youngin' Billy goes to Mama Joe and be like, look, I want this. That's who they care for, and that's just their primary focus. So that's why
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, for example, let's just say if all 4 of them are going to come out at the same. Okay, let me give you a scenario.
The other thing is also is only 2 at a time. So we'll
I thought it was all 4 at one time.
No, I doubt that because it goes against their releasing. Even with the Devil May Cry event, they did 2 units at a time. So it's way too much unlikely. They've never said anything of the case. It's more of speculation. But they've made it known that units will be coming out at 2 at a time.
Okay, if it's 2 at a time, perfect. I'll get them then, and a lot more people can afford it. But because my thing I was gonna say is that if all 4 of them comes out, people can't pay $4,000 in mortgage just to get them. You know, not a lot of people can.
No, that's
I
why
mean, the same
I
case
asked.
for 2,000, right?
That's why I asked. That's why I asked.
But 2,000 is a lot easy, a lot more attainable for. Like, let's say, okay, so let's say 100 people in in this game can afford all 4 turtles at one time. But then there could be like 600 people that can afford 2 turtles.
Yeah.
So
of course.
that one time, and then they could save up more money for next month instead of I need to get $4,000 in 2 weeks. Like what the that's harder.
Yeah. So my thinking is, and this is because kind of how like they did Devil May Cry, is that they'll do 2, and let's say I'm just throwing out dates and whatever. Nothing's confirmed. Let's just say they'll do in the beginning of August 2 turtles, and then at the end of September the other 2 turtles, and one of them happens to be a legendary. Would that be okay?
Honestly, anything legendary or free, I'll take it. I ain't gonna complain. $30, $50 freaking SSS plus 5, I'll take it.
But just understand that I'm throwing out that they will not do a free one. So 3 of them will be special summon, but they split them 2 in August, 2 in September, with pity at 100. Is that satisfactory?
Yeah.
Only reason why I like in my point of my account, the account for Prez's account is more of the fact that I need characters not to use them, but for my levels, just so I can keep leveling up because I'm already maxed at 480 out of 480 right now. So I need more levels. So I just need more characters coming out.
Characters. So Stupendous, because you're the one that was just like, nah. Did that sound good to you?
It depends on the pity number.
100. If the pity number is 100.
100 is pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
I mean, I've seen some.
Is the sweet spot.
I've seen some at 100. I've seen some 90. I've seen some 60, 70. I'm just throwing out like
you would have to assume that if they're doing this 2 event system, that they'd be giving us 2 rotations of the 7-day run up, which is like 70 tickets a piece.
Yeah. With all the tickets and all the things that you could farm, buy, whatever, and stuff like that. That at the way just throwing out 100 because it seems like a Crunchyroll number. Would you do?
Would I try to triple S a turtle? You're asking, right?
Yes. Yeah.
At 100.
Yes. Yeah.
That means from each event we get like 105. That means we're guaranteed to get 1 turtle from the event.
At least.
And if I want a triple S one, I need 1,300 more tickets.
I mean, it depends, right? You're gonna save probably on the Goken event, since you know that the turtles are right on the way, and it's been made public by a lot of YouTubers. I'm saying by a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah. But what if Goken's really good? Like,
no,
really,
Goken
really good.
in Taiwanese version, he's the best tank right now.
Yeah, and he might be, but
we have Bison.
You probably want to save till the turtles arrive and then make your decision, right? Since you know it's gonna be soon anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you could always just use those tickets to max out a Goken. At the end of the day, you'll get a triple S unit.
Yeah. But would you want to save for the turtles to see if the turtles are substantially better than?
I'll probably save for the turtles to see what they. But am I gonna save till September, or am I gonna save for the first half? I think that's the question, right?
That's also a question. But one thing I want to add is, if they're added free units, they have to add it to the first of the 2 events, right?
Yeah, it would make sense for that, yeah.
Because if they don't include a free-to-play or like cheap units in the first event, I think it will break a lot of players' their minds, and there will be a lot of people quitting.
I want to ask King Tix. King Tix, are you there?
I think he's on the Twitter.
So, your opinion?
On what? Like the free unit? The free turtle?
Or the whole question. The pity, 3 turtles, 1 legendary, August, September, 100 pulls. Would you do it? And they meet your criteria. They meet King Tix's criteria that you know you're gonna spend. These are the units.
I mean, okay, if
would you do
it's hard. It's kind of hard still because I do agree that they probably split it into 2 parts. It's too much to handle 4 at once. 1 special summon, 1 legendary, and then 1 special summon, and then 1 legendary on the units. I don't know. Hoping they're giving 1 for free, of course, but not really happening. I would probably for the next legendary, they're gonna probably put Fashion Sakura probably in the either Fashion Sakura or F-chan or whatever it is. That's a regular mall unit into a general, like how they did with AFK Arena, like with Arthur and I think there's a new one that went there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they might do that, right? And you exchange resources for that. But since Don Buka said that they're probably not gonna $50 and it's $100 or even more than $100, it's not outrageous to think. Then I don't know, because Fashion Chun-Li was also $30, right? And then that's like it's affordable. It's not like I'm dishing out too much for getting Fashion Chun-Li. If the turtles were good and they're like $50 or less, it's probably not less. $30. Okay, my tipping point is $70. I'm not going over 100 for a legendary unit. But that's just because I don't spend too much on a game, right? So if it's like 150 or 100, any more than 100, then I'm not gonna spend it, even though they're like I probably won't miss it too much because I know it's $100. And for a free to play, that's actually good that units are $100 because not a lot of players are gonna dish out $100. So then it helps free to play that there's not going to be too much units running around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
good evening, Jim.
Hello, Turtle. I mean, Pika.
What's up, Peaks?
What's up, Pika?
So yeah, my general consensus, I agree with most of you guys said. Split it, 1 special, 1 legendary on both.
That's my hope. I would love that. I honestly think that they're only going to do 1 and 3, but I would love them to do like 2 legendary and then 2 special summon. Because then that to me means I'm gonna get 3 turtles at least.
If you are telling me and like that they're gonna split it 2 and 2, now I lost hope that anything's gonna be legendary. I feel like they're gonna be special summons on both of them. Because now it's easier to tell people, oh, you're not special summoning all 4 at one time. You have time to save up. But like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's right. Like,
that's definitely an option because it forces players to pick, and then after they pick, then they're like, damn, kind of want the other one, and then the fear of missing out kicks in. That is 100% possible.
I guarantee you, the first 2 turtles that comes out. Is not gonna. I'm guarantee you that the next 2 turtles will be way better. Just like the Dante and Virgil. Like Dante came out.
Is there anything like official confirmed from Dino?
No. This is just speculation.
Until yet, they didn't sign the contract for making the turtles, right?
No, we don't know.
Well, I thought it was already data mined.
So the turtles are in the game right now.
Yeah, so if they're already in the game, I'm sure they have a contract and everything all set up already. Because
it's done, bro. It's just like
but the thing is like
just baiting us.
Dino never confirms. Basically what we're saying is Dino never.
I don't care. I just look into the files.
Yeah.
All right. So here's my question, Pika.
I'm gonna tell you something. It's not what anybody else looks or thinks about how they gonna be introduced to the game. Okay, and it's all pay to win. Go.
Is it like similar to MHGain situation?
No, I can't talk. It's all pay to win. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all speculation. That's what we were figuring. We were just talking about like what our hopes and what we figure out it may be.
But it's how Hazing said that it will be the worst thing of him thinking about
It will
it.
be.
And I hope they change it, because if they add this currency into the game, I'm quitting Street Fighter. It's very unfair.
New currency?
Damn.
Wait,
There's three new currencies in the game, okay? And they didn't play them. And I don't know that if one of them is in China. Somebody told me that it's in China. I was talking with actually, I'm not the one that data mined it, because I said I will not data mine anymore. So the person that was data mining with me, he continued doing it, and he was sending me screenshots, and I was like, man, stop, I don't want to know. But I got triggered because they did something really stupid, man. It will kill the game. I mean, it's the turtles. You can make so much money from them.
Oh, for sure. If they bring out a new currency and we can't use special summoning tickets, I'm not
It's
getting
like the tiers.
Yeah.
Gormagala can. It's just mall shit. I'm like, why? Just make them limited, man. Yeah. But I don't know. It's not done. It's not confirmed. They can change whatever. It depends if they talk with Crunchyroll. What we know is like Crunchyroll have no say in how to sell, advertise, or use their money. It's only the devs that decide how Crunchyroll runs their money. So it's like you have your own money, but because you purchased from this store tells you how to manage your money now. This is how Crunchyroll operates.
So if it's not special tickets, and it's like, let's just say it's kind of like Gormagala, right? It's like the pepperonis or whatever, right? But if
it's not confirmed, okay?
Yeah. So we're speculating here,
for sure.
and let's just speculate that it's not summon tickets, and it's like wishes.
Yeah.
I mean, the wish system was actually pretty good compared to how we have it now.
The wishes were perfect when they gave you a target for you, like 12 summons after it, or how much was it, Bookish? 15 summons, you get one copy of
13.
No, not the guaranteed. The one that they put on the side. Like you get.
That's 60. I posted a screenshot in the chat here earlier.
Yeah,
like have to scroll up 2
120.
messages.
60 shards.
Yeah,
okay.
60 and
so
120.
at 60 you got one, and 120 you get one, 30, and 500 gems. Yeah, this was okay, by the way.
I do need to point out that the translation of shards into full copies of a character is not standardized across the game for whatever reason. Yeah, it's not a 60 is a character thing. It's specific to whatever the character shard says.
So they may be like, give us a legendary unit which needs 120 shards, right?
Yeah, something along those lines.
They could theoretically give us like some huge unit that gets triple S in one copy, but requires some insane number of shards to do that one copy. Like they could do stuff like that. There's design space for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's
of course,
possible.
it's a
One
coding.
thing
They
I
can
want to
code it.
really point out about this is that the wishes rate was the same as divination, which is 2%, and the pity was at 60 interval. So every 60 you were guaranteed to get a damage can copy.
I'm gonna tell you something. Listen. This game, I understand. Dino perfectly told me how it goes. Okay, it's not. They don't own the IP, so it cost them a lot of money to host the servers and pay the contract that they made with the devs. They paid them a lot of amount of money, and they got a lot of money, and the devs is getting a lot of money, and on the long run, the player base is going a little bit down, massively down actually, and because of the monetization. And they have the right to do this because they have a lot of expenses for a game that they don't own the IP for it, so it costs a lot. So they need to cover the cost and make some profit, which is understandable. Which is, they have a big team in Crunchyroll working on this, which is 10 people maybe, or something like that. I'm being sarcastic a little bit, but it's true. They have a lot of cost. So they can't operate on giving so much free shit to people or free to play stuff without they making money. Because if they give so much free, they kill their revenue. And if killing their revenue, they shut down the game. And if people don't support the game dies and they shut down the game. This is why the game will never have a long-term life.
Yeah.
So what they need to do is monetization in a way to, like, they need a strategy to keep attracting the players, making them spend money with a smile, with being happy. How do you do that? You give them free shit, but you give them very pay-to-win shit. Like Virgil is super pay-to-win. Nero is casual. Add something else. The female character from the MC, I forgot her name. I always forget it. Yeah, make her at 20 day or the duration, all of the duration of the 14 days of the event, grindable. If you miss 1 day of not playing, you'll not get that last shard to get her. Like something like that. If you did this, you have motivation. You have 14 days of all these players that are casually playing, are active for 14 days playing this game religiously, and people will come back when they hear like, oh, I installed the game, but I'm not playing it. There's no motive. I'm stuck here. Well, if you play this event, you have a character that's legendary on an event that if you farm it for 14 days, you guarantee it. This player that is a sleeper, that we call a sleeper, will come back and play. This is what exactly we did with other games that I was a part of the team or somehow was a part of the team. Other games that they had many other strategies, which is 30 days of farming a unit. Others were like of 3 months farming a unit. AFK Arena has a 6-month time. They own the IP. I don't care about owning or what owning. They wanted something for free to play, and they wanted to get money, and they wanted their player base to be maintained. You have 6 months of rental of a unit, which is legendary, to have it for you permanently. And they have every new unit that it dropped, 30 days of farming, grinding, 30 days. At least you need to play the game for 20 minutes for you to get it every day. And they get it after 30 days. And all of them are OP. And they did it successfully. They can do this in Street Fighter and add the pay-to-win characters. Make the free-to-play units regular or perform less than the normal characters that we already have. But people will stay playing because they want to get this character, which you can max out infinitely, immediately when you get it. Right? Do I make sense, or is it like...
Yeah, no. I get what you...
But I have a question, like... Out of all the people that spent money in this chat, how many have spent money in this game and have felt good about it?
Honestly, before Trendy Cami and the Wool, I hit the $500 for 1T Cami thing. I never felt bad about spending. That was the only purchase I felt like, what the fuck did I just spend on? But that was just because of the no pity thing, right? If there was a pity and I spent on it willingly, and I got what I wanted, and I knew what it was, so I wouldn't feel bad about it. I
bought legendary units, and I've never felt bad. I just didn't buy Nero because I'm banking on TMNT. That's it.
Listen, for being a whale, a big whale, I speak of my experience and what I hear from my friends and what they tell me. They give 0 fucks about spending money, okay? Because they have this money, and they will spend it, They don't care. We go spend it on booze, on one night, getting drunk or wherever. We spend it on a travel, on a trip or whatever. If we spend it on a game to have fun for like 3-4 months, it's a 3-4-5 months of enjoyment investment in a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Or more, a year. That's how we look at it. People that don't have that much of access to money, like that you.
They don't have the means for it.
Yeah, and they want to play the game and enjoy it, and they just spend it and cut themselves from other stuff only just to have these the ones that will have problems. That's normal, basic life 101.
Okay, yes, but all right. So there's the whales that don't care what they spend their money on.
Of
That's
course.
a separate issue. And then there's people below that. Like, do we care about those people?
I mean, if you're spending on the game,
and it's not addiction
without actually like, having the money.
It's addiction, like for gambling or not. It's not an addiction.
Well,
It's
no,
just
it is.
bad
It is.
management
It is.
from them and
Well, it
decision
can
making.
be.
Don't
It
tell
can
me
be.
it is. I don't feel pity for people who have zero brains and just fucking do dumb and stupid.
Pika. It isn't.
I
It
don't feel
is.
sorry for them.
Pika, you don't
Let
have
them
to feel
burn.
sorry. Pika, you don't have to feel sorry, but it is an addiction.
Yeah, it's not
Can't word it
like
otherwise.
it's different
It
for
is
It's
everyone.
not an
addiction.
addiction. It's stupid. Addiction is what you do every day. If you go to the casino every day, spend your money, rent your house, whatever, rent
Not
your
necessarily.
house. Okay.
It's different for everyone. That's
That's different. It's a game. It's a gacha. If
Yeah,
you're
it can
spending on
still
a
be
game,
addictive.
you're just stupid because it doesn't give you back money.
Pika. It
Gambling
gives
addiction.
you, like you said,
if
it gives
there's
you
winning,
enjoyment. It gives you
Yeah,
satisfaction.
it gives you satisfaction.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter
it
if
doesn't
it gives
give
you
you-
anything
okay.
back.
The whole thing about addictions is it gives you something,
can you hear me?
dopamine.
It's I heard a documentary, people talking about this, and there's doctors talking about this. It's called stupidity when you put your money on something you gain no revenue from it. OnlyFans, porn, games, anything that will not give you revenue. What's really addiction? It's gambling. In casino, horses, sports, whatever, bets. These will give you money. You're addicted to the idea that you will get something in return. These other things are just to pleasure your just like your mind. That's why it's not putting in the same category of addiction. It's not addiction. Anybody who tells you it's addiction, they have just it's a way to just tell themselves that we have a problem, we need help, and hopefully we get help. It's not. You don't find ways to justify your stupidity. That's how I know many people will disagree with me, but it's fine. Everybody have their ideas.
I have a
Maybe I'm a higher
point
level one.
because
For sure.
gachas are so popular in Asia, and Asians have such a profound societal issue with gambling addiction as a culture. There is a clear overlap between people who have been taken advantage of by gacha games and gambling addicts.
Yeah.
Do you
like,
know
the
why?
addiction
They also
exists.
in the documentary, the doctor explained why Asia in specific have this. Do you know why?
It's cultural.
There's something called physical gacha machines that they go and really have addiction on them because they win prizes. So they pour like $1,000 on one machine to get this fluffy plushie. That
America has
America
has
the
gachapon
unit
too.
picks
A gachapon,
when
a gachapon is literally
You can
the
Google it.
machine in your grocery store that you put
can
a quarter
Google
into
it.
and get a
When did
toy
they
out
have
of
it?
and that's a gachapon.
Yeah, we
when did it
everywhere
start
have
in
it.
USA?
It's been had
No,
it
not
for
everywhere.
years.
No,
it's
literally
forbidden in
every grocery store in the United States, when you walk in, you will have a gachapon machine sitting there with balls of small
yeah.
toys that you can purchase for a quarter.
Not
For
these.
It is gambling.
decades
Bro,
they've been
these-
having that.
Yeah, I know this. You put the coin, you flip it, and it drops you something.
It is the same fundamental thing on a physiological level as
Fundamental.
gambling.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
What's the
When you
difference
put a
between
penny
that-
or $1, that's different. But when you put $10 and $5 just for one hit in these machines that they give you albedo, they give you what's her name, Nova, and these kind of waifus, and you can't. It's just a ripoff. You can't just. These are different.
Bro, people marry fucking fake.
You're making
fake
the
units.
same argument that like people have against digital property though, like Magic Arena and stuff like that.
Digital, you can't own it.
But
will
it doesn't
end
matter
at
though.
some
That's what we're trying
And
to say.
that's true for buying Steam games though.
Yeah.
Like you're
No,
crossing the
okay.
argument.
What's Steam game? It's you own something, you can download it on your hard drive. If it
No,
goes off,
when you buy
it
a Steam
dies.
game, you are licensing the right to play that game for as long as Steam is in service.
Okay.
You are
I
not
can play
purchasing
all the
anything.
Steam games. If Steam now gets erased from the internet, I can play every single game.
No, you cannot.
No, you
That's
cannot.
a violation of your
Yes, I can.
license.
Only-
you
only
can't. You are
if you-
actually infringing copyright
Yeah.
when you do that. You actually are.
You download. Okay, how do I play the game on Steam? You
If
download the game, right?
You download the
Pika,
game.
Pika.
Hold on. If you
Simply
download the
having
game,
copyrighted software does not give you the access to execute that copyrighted software. You need
Yes,
the
you can.
rights to execute that copyrighted software, which you are granted with your Steam EULA agreement that you agreed to.
Okay. If
When
you
the
go
service
online now-
ends, you
One
don't
second.
have that agreement anymore.
I get
You
it.
don't
I get
have the
I get it.
authorization to that
Do you have
copyrighted
Do you have
material.
Steam? You have Steam, right?
You can
Yeah,
play
of course.
offline mode. But you might need to
Go
relog in
offline.
every 30 days.
No. You don't need to relog in or whatever. You can relog in as offline. You know that.
Yeah, but how long? Can you do that for like a year?
Forever. Without updating it. I've been 6
Okay,
years
so
on my
we need
old
to-
PC
we
on
need to
Steam.
contextualize-
I never updated it, and I still can relog.
We need to
I did it- I
contextualize
did
the
it today.
conversation against the fact that intellectual property is inherently an honor system to begin with. If you are going to and intending to pirate material, it is not,
Not
relevant.
pirating. What?
It is pirating to use software that you had a license to that you no longer have a license to. When you
Who
buy a
tells you
game
I
on
don't
Steam,
have
you are not
license to-
purchasing software. You are purchasing the license to use the software. Read the EULA. Seriously.
Okay. Let me tell you something. Remember when we had these games on CDs? You buy the CD, but now it gets an update, a better version. FIFA 22, now FIFA 23. So I should break my CD
And
of FIFA
those
22
games with
because there's-
CDs came with physical EULAs in their.
Because it's not okay. Because the idea of the fucking internet and you download it and nobody uses CDs anymore or whatever.
Even when we
it's
were
the new
using
idea.
floppy disks, they would distribute with EULAs, man. They would distribute
what-
with
what's
EULAs
the
on the
difference?
floppy disk themselves.
Okay. I
The
bought the game on
difference
Steam.
hasn't
I'm
ever
telling you,
changed.
I bought
When
the
you
game on
lose-
Steam. I'm
The
playing it.
difference hasn't ever changed. The way that
How is
current
that?
software sales work.
And you
when
can play
stop-
the game, you just don't own it.
But what you're talking? Okay,
Correct.
I'm
You are
telling
now
you.
pirating the game. You are now pirating the game, even though you
for
just
5
paid
years I've been pirating the games now.
Yeah, pretty
On the
much.
Steam.
If
I bet you. No. I bet you. If you could find me any lawyer that would take your case
Dude, no
from
one's
any
gonna care.
company. No. Who tells you? If I'm violating this law, they can get millions from me.
No, they cannot.
No,
They don't
that's
get
not
it.
how it works.
Absolutely cannot. There are statutory limitations for
Yeah.
damages. They cannot go after a single
They
consumer
can't get
for
a
millions.
penny. If they try
And
to
they
sue me, I
only
get
want money
millions
if
from
you
them.
sell. They only want money if you sell. If
Yeah,
you
most
make a dime,
damages related to copyright infringement are related to the distribution of it, not the use of it.
Yeah,
Let's be
so if
clear.
you make a
if you
dime,
read
that's
the
when you're
licenses on Steam, it says that you own the games when you download them. And if Steam goes offline and the game is on your hard drive, it's your own property. Go read the agreement.
Every game.
Every single game, bro.
Every
You
game that
voted.
doesn't need internet access.
Bro, it's the Steam agreement. Go read it.
So here's my question. If they say, I don't know, Maple Story is in
Don't
Steam.
tell me something
Wait,
I
wait, wait,
paid
wait, wait.
for,
Hold
I
on,
can't
hold on,
play
hold
it.
on, hold on.
If something
Wait,
with
wait,
a monthly
Pika,
subscription, that's a different idea.
Pika. Wait.
That's when your license
Maple
ends.
Story is a free-to-play MMO, and you don't gotta pay jack squat. And they're on Steam, and you download
Yeah.
the game, but Maple Story shuts down. How the fuck are you going to play the game?
It's server related. You can't play it
Exactly.
because you need to be online.
Isn't that the
I'm
same
talking
with?
of offline games, bro,
But-
not online.
So the only games that you're talking about are like God of War and other stuff like that.
I don't know if God of War have something online too. I forgot if it's still or not. I didn't play it myself, to be honest.
But like a gotcha game, it's all gone. You don't own shit.
No, gacha. Forget about gacha.
Yeah.
Gacha are not. Gacha is a system to make money. That's all.
But guys, I just want to point out that we're steering way off the conversation at
Yeah,
the moment.
I was
and
literally
we're
just
still
about
not-
to say that.
Yeah, I'm sorry
It's not
for
gambling
that.
or something, right?
No, it's fine. It's like it's
No.
fine, but we're still in the podcast.
And I'm sorry if I offended anybody about like the gacha. It's only my only personal opinion, and that's it. Like I don't mean to offend anybody. If you feel
No,
like
no,
you
I'm
have
not
a gambling addiction, I'm not saying you're stupid, but the general thought of it and the theme of it, yeah, I find anybody who's addicted to something online that you can't get any revenue from as a game, it's just the idea of it is stupid. Look, think
But
twice.
then what is the difference between gambling IRL, where you
IRL,
do
you
not
go
gain
to the
revenue?
casino, you lose your money, but you have a chance to win it all back, or maybe flip your whole life with a
the
big
chance
like,
to get it
a
back is
jackpot.
what's different. It's the
Here
chance to
you
get it
don't
back.
have any chance to get it back.
Yeah.
If you want a refund after a month, you can't refund.
Yeah. Like the IRL versus the in digital, that is drastically different, because all it takes is legitimately like you bet on black and wham bam, thank you, ma'am, you got $1 million in your pocket just because you randomly just fucking bet on black, and you only lost like a G for the whole day. Like that's where it's the difference.
With this.
Wait, I wanna chip in about the gambling stuff and addiction. Okay, so like gacha games, they're also like played by small kids as well and teenagers. Well, I don't want to say small kid, right? Small kid maybe with a credit card of their parents or something like that.
Until they become 23, they you can say they're kids. A man develops his mind
21.
completely
I've been
at 23.
playing gacha games for like, I don't know, even 4 years back or even 3. I don't know. It's been a while. And back when I still get like allowance from my parents, I don't even work. I mean, right now I have a side job, but like I don't have any like conception of like how important money is and stuff like that, because like I've been taken care of, right? Like by my parents and stuff like that. And I used to have all my allowance and I put it all into gacha games, right? But like every single thing, that every time I have it, you know? And like, I would say it's an addiction because you don't know how much harm it gives. Addiction, I would say, is something that would harm you. I mean, it could be a dumb addiction, but like
It's still
something
an
that
addiction.
something like any sort of addiction, like eating chalk or eating, you know, your house. You know, it's dumb, of course, but you just can't, you know, stop doing it, even though it's harmful for yourself. And how I got to, you know, how I overcome that addiction is through hardship of, you know, the consequences. You know, like if someone spends everything on gacha games and then you're broke and then you feel the lowest low or the consequences, then
May I ask you, why were you spending?
Because I was like, okay, keep in mind it was like quite a while back, where I just spent because, you know, when you're a kid you just want to, sometimes you can't.
You want to be the best. You want to be the best. You want to show everybody else that you're playing against that you're the best and you're doing.
Okay, so not even that, because this is where I'll throw it out, because this could be the final topic of the podcast, because this is something that I find very important. In the terms of the addiction, at the end of the day, it's mental illness, and mental illness, one of the downfalls of any mental illness, regardless of whether it's depression, anxiety, whatever, one of the
100%.
effects of them is that you feel stupid. I'm gonna put on my own personal opinion. When I feel depressed, or when I feel and I'll put it that addiction, because like I spent so much money on MapleStory, and MapleStory doesn't give me shit back. It was all eye candy. It was all cosmetic. It literally it gives me absolutely nothing. So I definitely know you feel stupid at the end of the day.
Did you have like depression or any problems for you to spend? I know why I spent on AFK Arena and why I got like into gaming good.
I will say that there's been times
for
where
my story,
like
it's a
buying
sad
stuff
story,
makes
but
me
I'm gonna
feel
tell you,
good.
like I had problems in life when the explosion happened in my country and I lost some people. So for me to continue my life normally, do not stop it at continue my life, because I don't want this video to be super monetized. So I tried to have an escape from reality, and it was gaming for me.
Buying stuff,
because losing a child and a
good.
partner, it's super hard in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is how I went to. It's not because I was addicted. I was depressed. I was in the worst ways of my life.
It's different for everyone, though. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Is it that like under a totality of an umbrella, it's different. Obviously, when you fine tune it and fix a fixture point. Like for me, I suffer from depression and anxiety. So when buying something, for me, it makes me feel good. It legitimately, I'm like, all right, cool. Whether it be a skin in the game, or I bought a shoe or a hat or a Warhammer figure, whatever the case may be, or even a new book to read, it makes me feel good. Like I know, okay, I'm dealing with shit. I'm not happy, but at least something, a little sliver of niceness happened. So yeah, it could definitely get addictive because it's like, if you have that outlook where, okay, everything's negative or stuff's not happening, but when you spend money, it is a benefit, that feeling becomes an addiction in its own right. Because you're just like, the only time I feel happy is when I spend money or when I buy something. And that's where it becomes a problem. And video games, like, especially like this, where Street Fighter Duel, like how they have Nero, and you know, where it plays on the competitive nature of people. So that's where it becomes dangerous, and that's where we're talking about. And the problem with monetization is it's like, okay, would people spend buying all 4 turtles if they were in one shot? No, but that's something that I could definitely see Crunchyroll or any of these gaming industry companies where they're just like, screw it, we're eating all 4, and if you want them, you gotta spend. And that definitely tugs on a lot of people. Like, it's shitty, and that's where like where Flake brought up, where like, oh, they're buying packs, they're fake buying packs and faking the demand just so that this, you know, people could buy the supply. Like, it's all in there. That's just the design, and it fucking sucks. So on that note, because this is like a 3.5 hour thing, the call doesn't end, but the podcast ends. We love you. We love Street Fighter Duels as per usual. It sounds like we're grumpy old men, but vada-vadaing, but we're vada-vadaing for something that we love. So
hey, wait a minute. I just got here. Can we just redo everything real quick?
After the call, you're here for the after party. But on that note, stay happy, stay hydrated, stay alive. Friday Fighters are out.